Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, October 9th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. You can expect partly sunny skies and a high of 91 in San Antonio today. Meteorologists say temperatures could reach 98 degrees on Sunday, which would break a record. Texas police performed just under 1 million searches during traffic stops last year. About 1 in 5 resulted in contraband being found. A police dashboard cam video obtained by Hearst newspapers provides an example of questionable reasoning for many roadside police searches of motorists and their vehicles. Be on the lookout at expressnews.com as our 52 Weeks of Pizza series returns with a review of a family-run Monte Vista Italian restaurant. And now let's move on to our top stories for the day. Wildlife Partners LLC, a San Antonio-based exotic wildlife breeder, has turned the tables on a former executive suing it for alleged wrongdoing. The company, which bills itself as the largest buyer and seller of high-valued exotic wildlife in the United States, accuses former president and COO Joseph Guillon of fraud, stealing, and incompetence in a counterclaim. In August, Guillon accused the company's founders of failing to maintain proper records for tracking animals, revenue, and expenses while commingling funds and using company assets to support their lifestyles. Patrick Danner breaks down both sides of the dispute in his latest article. Daniel Alaric was an Army drill sergeant when he began making t-shirts and selling them from the trunk of his Nissan Rogue in 2009. His merchandise glorified America and military grunt culture, and it was caustically funny, as far from politically correct as he could get. Alaric had no business experience, but he had plenty of entrepreneurial zeal, and his timing was flawless. He started what would become Grunt Style, a military-themed apparel brand, as populist anger boiled over during the Great Recession. As the money poured in, Grunt Style became a volatile workplace, according to 6 former employees. They describe a company whose leaders made a series of reckless business decisions and nurtured a frat house work environment. One ex-employee said she was frequently disparaged at work because of her gender. Read all about the company's past, present, and future in this collaboration with Report for America. Attorney General Ken Paxton's aides have accused him of a number of crimes, from accepting bribes to misusing his public office for the way he advocated for Nate Paul, whose real estate empire is now racked with legal troubles and bankruptcy proceedings. That the supposedly independent attorney investigating Paul's complaints on behalf of Texas taxpayers served a subpoena with Paul's lawyer in tow is just the sort of conflict that outraged Paxton's aides about the entire case. Some legal experts say that allowing Paul's attorney to tag along with Paxton's handpicked prosecutor flies in the face of Paxton's stated goal for hiring him in the first place. You can read more about the latest developments in this story at the link in the episode's description. Columnist Gilbert Garcia writes, quote, 2 national debates, 2 instances of Democratic candidates evading the issue of what they plan to do with the Supreme Court. The question is whether Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden will push to add seats to the nation's highest court if he wins in November and his party gains control of the Senate. President Donald Trump, who trails Biden by double digits in most national polls, is encouraging voters to believe that Biden will try to pack the court if he gets the chance. Find out which way Garcia thinks Biden is leaning on the issue in his latest column. To keep our readers up to date on the path of COVID-19, the Express News has built a dashboard of interactive graphics showing the spread of the virus in the San Antonio area, in Texas as a whole, and across the United States. We've also created an interactive map of San Antonio for COVID-19 testing sites that don't require a doctor's referral. You can find a link to the dashboard and the interactive map in this episode's description. Also, be sure to check out other Express News podcasts such as Puro Politics, In Depth, and the Express News editorial board. You can find links to those podcasts in this episode's description. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. Be sure to head over to expressnews.com to check out our 2020 Voters Guide. Our comprehensive guide has the key dates, frequently asked questions, and a full breakdown of every race and ballot measure Bexar County voters will see when voting in the 2020 election. You can find a link to the voter guide in this episode's description. The Conservation Society of San Antonio is planning a fundraiser, a modest substitute for its canceled Fiesta Bash at La Villita next month to support historic preservation and other programs. We have what you need to know about the Fall Heritage Festival at the link in this episode's description. The San Antonio Metropolitan Health District reported 170 new coronavirus cases Thursday and 3 deaths. Some 185 coronavirus patients were being treated in San Antonio hospitals as of Wednesday, 18 fewer than the previous day. The winners of our 2020 Top Workplaces surveys are in. You can read more about Chesmar Homes, the Bexar County Appraisal District, and Broadway Bank at the link in this episode's description. When it comes to feeling appreciated at work, what matters most to employees? If you answered pay, you may want to think again. San Antonio's Metro Health released guidelines for celebrating Halloween safely. The agency recommends wearing masks, practicing social distancing, and avoiding haunted houses. For the first time since June, San Antonio City Council reconvened almost fully in person at the Norma S. Rodriguez Council Chamber downtown for their weekly Thursday meeting. You can find what was discussed behind face masks and plexiglass screens at expressnews.com. A North Texas mayoral candidate was arrested and charged with more than 100 felonies related to voter fraud, authorities said. A federal judge on Thursday signaled he sympathized with voting rights groups and voters seeking to block Governor Greg Abbott's order limiting mail ballot drop-off boxes to just 1 per county. Nate Paul, the Austin-based real estate investor at the center of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's current scandal, has a toehold in San Antonio, including ownership of the firm that padlocked the popular dance club Midnight Rodeo in 2019. Texas is just one of 6 states to receive an F grade for its teaching of climate change in public schools, according to a Thursday report by the left-leaning Texas Freedom Network Education Fund and the National Center for Science Education. The head of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas said federal stimulus funds have softened the impact of the pandemic-induced recession, but if additional aid doesn't come soon, the fragile economy recovery may weaken or stall out. In key local House races, the Express News editorial board recommends Democrat Wendy Davis over incumbent Chip Roy for District 21. The board also recommends Democratic candidate Gina Ortiz-Jones in the Congressional District 23 race. While 2 of the congressional races for the San Antonio area are hotly contested, with millions of dollars pouring into the campaign and plenty of national attention, 3 other races are decidedly low-key affairs. Check out the editorial board's recommendations at expressnews.com. Sometimes you just want to escape with a good book. At other times, you want to confront your anxieties and worries. That's the time to reach for a scary story. And there's no better month to do so than October, when the shelves, virtual and physical, are packed with new and recently released books on witches, hauntings, and other eerie things timed to coincide with the Halloween season. Check out our editor's picks on 10 spooky books for all ages to read in October for Halloween. Lavernia quarterback senior Gage Lowry's confidence is reaching new heights as the second-year starter leads the San Antonio area in passing. In the middle of the pandemic, at least 7 new coffee shops have opened in San Antonio. We have your guide to them at expressnews.com. In gardening news, Calvin Finch offers his tips on planting shade trees, while Neil Sperry answers readers' questions about tree death in his down-to-earth column. In college football news, Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger is 1-3 in his career against Oklahoma, but a win in what's likely his final appearance in the rivalry would boost the senior's legacy and keep Texas in the Big 12 championship hunt. And that's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Friday, October 9th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcasts app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. See you Monday.